Journal entry number 344. It is Thursday. It is only day 2 since the new information has become available to me. So far I have abstained from reading it. I don't want any spoilers, but I would be lying if I did not say that every waking moment I am filled with the temptation to run to my laptop, to open up a Google browser, to look up the story details that have so far been released, and satiate my thirst for knowledge. I don't know how much longer I can go on like this. I don't know how much longer I can... I'm recording this because I want you to know that I tried my hardest. But sometimes our human natures catch up with us in the end. You guys, it's really, really hard not to read anything about Hyrule Warriors. Thank God for Jimmy Fallon and his distracting nip syncing. Fiddlesticks, you're so accepting of the scarf.
Yeah, you're so handsome. Putting on my socks and I just gave him an attractive cat scarf. He's such a sucker for love that he doesn't mind as long as I keep petting him.
Do you have a fashionable scarf? He's too trusting of us.
So there was this couple making out in the back of the bus that I just got off of. It was really loud. It sounded like they were like pulverizing raw meat or something. I don't normally mind displays of affection. I don't normally mind all that much, but for God's sake, normally I can look away. So please, anyone watching this, don't do that. At least keep it down. So I just got off my next bus. Guess what? There was another couple sitting behind me making out loudly. I was kind of tempted to film them and just call them out on the entire internet. Tell you what, instead we'll make do with the simulation. You ready? Here's just like... And then, right when I thought it couldn't get any worse, they stopped. They leaned in real close until they were right next to my ear, and... Oh. Hopefully on my bus ride home, everyone there will realize that it's so much more satisfying if you can hold in your sexual tension and let it simmer, and then let it all out when you're alone, and not make gross slurpy noises right next to my ear. Please and thank you.
It is super muggy in here. That doesn't make sense. But it's very, very warm. Had to change out of my nightgown into different pajamas. Ugh. Sorry guys, but I want to be comfy. That, and you may notice the disappointed tone I've taken. I caved in and I read that article, and it's pretty much what we expected it to be, in that there are no story spoilers. That was just like a very brief sentence long like synopsis. I was all excited because I thought crazy stuff was going to be going down, and then it probably still is, but like, I freaked out for no reason. I hate that feeling. But there is something I kind of wanted to talk about aside from that. And then I promise I'll shut up about this until it comes out, in which case I'll just go nuts. But anyway, already I've seen some small bit of backlash because of this character and her 2 obvious reasons. And I thought I'd throw in my 2 cents worth, because I have an opinion. Obviously, she's not very well armored. She's very exposed. That doesn't freak me out like some people probably think. I mean, I joke about boobs all the time in terms of video game characters. I'm like, yeah, boobs! But seriously though, she's not the first character in a Zelda franchise with like serious cleavage, but she's the worst so far for it. My opinion is that it doesn't really concern me. That in itself doesn't really concern me at all. Like, I have no problem with seeing stuff like that. To me, breasts, just, I guess, using that as an example, because it's the situation, they don't freak me out like some people do. A lot of people are still very, very uncomfortable with the idea of exposed naked bits. I'm not. I'm over it. The 2 things, though, that that do sort of like bother me a little bit. Obviously, they're quite large and impossibly perky. And that's not a really big deal, but like every now and then you kind of wish that you had, you know, boobs a little bit more properly represented. Ain't no way boobs that big are gonna not sag down. That made all the grammatical sense. But I'm like willing to write that off because she's like a dark evil witch, and if you had crazy black magic powers, I mean, who wouldn't enhance their own boobs, right? Let's be honest here. I'd totally be all on top of that. But also, the other thing that makes me a little more nervous and I feel is a little bit more cause for concern are jiggle physics. I don't know if any of you guys watching are particularly of the video game consuming crowd. Even if you're not, you may have noticed that a lot of female video game characters, a lot of special attention is given to their breasts and the way they move. It used to be a lot worse and it's gotten better, but there are still some like niche games in which that's part of why you would want to play the game. Looking at you, dead or alive. That is what worries me a bit more. Not because, I mean, I find that stuff hilarious, honestly. That will kill me. But it's just because it's a little bit weird seeing that juxtaposed with all these lovely, innocent Zelda characters that we know and love. But that's my opinion on it. I am that branch of feminism that believes that y'all can just wear whatever you want as long as you own it and you're, you know, it's your choice. Some people might be uncomfortable, but I think to those people, you should just learn to maybe broaden your horizons a bit and just, you know, if you don't like it, just stop looking at it. To those that feel that they need to push ways of dressing onto other people, that's where it becomes oppression. Real talk. I'm a little sad that I don't want to give you guys any visuals. A little sad that guys, if they're really, really hot in the summertime, they just want to feel the sun, they can just whip off their shirt and nobody would look at them twice, you know, unless they walked into a store or something. But a woman might want to just enjoy the sun and take off her shirt for completely innocent reasons, and she might not be able to because we've grown up in a society where we're still really uncomfortable about our own breasts, both men and women, and it's unfair that rules have been placed on us just because of that. So that's my whole spiel on things. Tecmo, people making the game, you have the fate of hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people in your hands right now. Don't this up. All this to say that I feel like if you're gonna put boobs in video games, at least make them normal looking. Maybe that would help with desensitizing people to something that's totally natural. Hello, it is me from the future. I just came in because I realized there were a couple things I kind of missed when I was talking in that last clip, and there are a couple things that might have confused you. Let's just clarify that. When I was filming that last clip, all my reactions were very fresh, and I didn't really have the time to quite articulate what it is that really bothered me and really bring everything together in my head. I'm incredibly bad at talking and getting everything out the first time the way I want it to. Even now, I filmed this video like 10 times trying to get everything to come out, but it's a vlog, a daily vlog, and so I still wanted to include that footage, so I apologize for that. And that also, I was talking in terms of the character, which might not have been appropriate in this situation, I understand. I've been raised with a theatrical background. I'm very used to thinking what it is that the character wants and why they would do things and wear things and be a certain way. I was really thinking from the character. I understand, though, that it's really not about that. The reason why people might be concerned is this isn't the first time we've seen a female character who's been somewhat sexualized, or very much sexualized. In video games have a history as a form of media of doing this to female characters, and it is very annoying. We've been getting better though, but understand that this comes from a country where male and female equality and the way they're represented in media is a little bit behind. That's no excuse, but understand that. Also, we haven't even seen this game yet. We've only seen teasers and trailers, and so that might be addressed as part of her character, or part of her storyline. Probably not. Nintendo does have a history of being neutral in the face of these sorts of social conflicts, but there's always that hope. I understand that in reality she wasn't a character who chose what she wanted to wear, but she was a character that was designed by probably a male lead character designer. This isn't the first time even in the Legend of Zelda franchise that we've seen this happen, but this is by far the most notable example that we've had. I personally am going to hold out my judgment until the game actually comes out. On the other hand, you might be concerned because this presents itself as content that might not be appropriate for your kids, and Nintendo is known for being family friendly. A lot of its IPs are for all audiences. So that is a little bit concerning, or that would be concerning, I guess, if you were a parent. I can't really say that I would know how you feel. At the same time, though, this isn't the first time that adult content or inappropriate content has been shown on a Nintendo platform. For example, we had Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. That's a horror game. It's not appropriate for children. We've also had Conker's Bad Fur Day on the Nintendo 64. It's an adult satire. This isn't the first time it's happened, and it's my opinion that a publishing company doesn't have the responsibility to censor content for younger children. I mean, that's what the ESRB is for. And it is up to you to do research and figure out what it is and what it is not that you want to allow your kids to have access to. But I would take this as an opportunity to really talk to your kids, if you're interested in getting this for them, about what you might be concerned about. Right now, I'm seeing it being rated T, so take that for what you will. If the way this character is dressed concerns you, address these things with your children. Talk about, does it make them feel uncomfortable, first of all? What do they think about it? Do they think it's wrong? Do they think it's right? Does she have a reason to? And I would take the opportunity to teach your kids that people have the right to dress the way they want. And unless they're bad people, you should treat them fairly no matter what they look like. You know, we've grown up learning that. At the same time, us girls have grown up being taught that it's our responsibility to dress a certain way and to not dress a certain way. And it sort of teaches the world that a victim of harassment or worse things is sort of responsible for the predicament that she finds herself in. Whether or not you realize it or whether or not it's said straight out, it's what it has taught people. So instead of condemning a character for looking a certain way, maybe you should teach your children not to treat them poorly or just, turn the other cheek. So in conclusion, the situation to me is twofold. We can use this as an opportunity to send a message that we want to send to the people who create these games, that we're tired of seeing these certain things. We want more equal representation when it comes to things like gender, things like sex. We can use this as an opportunity to talk about these things. We can also use this as an opportunity to start a discussion amongst ourselves. That's how I see it. And personally, as somebody who's grown up, or at least sort of grown up, with the Legend of Zelda series, personally, I'm actually kind of excited to see some sort of smutty drama. I feel like this could be the game for people who, could be the game that addresses people who are my age group and above, who have, like I said, grown up with the franchise. So that's just how I feel. I'm glad I finally got that out there. I have recorded this several times, so I'm going to finally get back to editing, and I'm so sorry that I ramble. Alright, back to the present. I've been on this couch all day. Okay, well, that's not exactly true. After Clément left, I crashed because I've been up for almost 24 hours now. Okay, let's try that again. No, I haven't been up for 24 hours. I woke up incredibly early yesterday and just never went back to sleep. All this trying to sleep and little hoops that we're still going through in terms of getting our money and getting our visas now. I guess that's what we're doing now. It sort of has pushed editing to the back burner, so I apologize for that. Trying to get at what I can. It's also a little bit harder to be able to tell when a day ends and begins because our sleep schedule is so messed up now. I promise I won't film on this couch at all tomorrow. I'm super sleepy, and if I continue talking much longer, I'm gonna wake myself up. So I hope you guys had a great day today. I hope you guys also are sleeping properly, because it kind of sucks. You think that it sounds pretty cool to sleep whenever you want to and not have anything to need to be present for. It just messes with you. I'll see you guys tomorrow when I wake up, hopefully at a normal time. Good night.